Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. A very quiet weekend but still plenty of excitement from the world of racing. We had the Rally Finland and all the action from the World Rally Championship, Super GT with the 350 kilometers of Fuji in Japan, the IMSA from Road America with every class in action, and the TCR World Tour was on its final stop in South America at El Pina in Uruguay. There's barely anything on next weekend, so take it all in whilst you can. But for once, I am able to breeze through this lot in a couple of afternoon watch sessions, so make sure you subscribe to the channel and let's jump into the video.
As for the win, you can't look past homeboy Kalle Rovanperä, and after winning the last two events, he is almost certainly the driver in form. But he has never won in Finland. He crashed last year, finished second the year before, out of the points in 2021 and was ninth in a Skoda in 2019. The last feather in his cap would be a win in the Rally Finland.
World Rally Championship from a very wet and damp Finland. New boy Sami Pajari had a baptism of fire and he stuck his Toyota in the shrubbery on stage 2, damaging his spoiler but continuing on. But even Thierry Neuville was heading deeper into the forest than he was supposed to. But the big shock of the early stages was Ott Tänak having a massive crash, wrecking his car, delaying the stage. Luckily he and his co-driver Martin Harvila were okay, but his championship hopes were not. The weather played a big part in the early stages of this rally. Wet roads meant less road sweeping for Neuville, and showers on stages meant others were caught out and struggling. Elfyn Evans was fastest early on, as he hunted for a third Finnish rally win. Next to hit trouble was Takamoto Katsuta. He hit a tree in stage 5 and broke a wheel. That meant a penalty and more points given to Hyundai. Then Hyundai hit more trouble. Homeboy Esa-Pekka Lappi hit a tree and he was out. Stage 6 and we had already lost 3 cars. Sami Pajari had trouble but finished second overall on stage 6, whilst Ford had no pace whatsoever. So Friday ended with Toyota leading 1-2-3 ahead of Thierry Neuville and the 3 remaining Rally 1 cars behind. Saturday morning and Gregoire Munster had a huge accident and that left us with just 6 Rally 1 cars.
They will be the only Rally 1 cars to finish. Gregoire Munster, Takamoto Katsuta and Esa-Pekka Lappi will all hit issues or crash.
I believe I called Munster, Lappi and Katsuta all being off, so cross that one off the bingo card. Alright, I didn't say Tänak would join them, but progress is progress. And another twist in the championship story on Saturday, with Elfyn Evans having a mechanical issue and dropping a whole load of time. All Neuville needed to do was keep up with Rovanperä and Ogier, take a third place and score decent points over his main title rivals. And so any interest in this rally died with Evans' hopes. By this point the gap between the remaining 5 cars was monstrous, and the stakes for the championship were lying limp. We had Sunday points of course, but that's a concept that absolutely bores me to tears and adds complications whilst giving opportunities for the fallen to get some points back. But Sunday was a climax of sorts, stage 19 especially. Elfyn Evans crashed at the start of the stage and with no points at all, his championship hopes have also taken a huge dent after a bad weekend. But then rally leader Kalle Rovanperä, who was by far the fastest and was cruising coming to the end of the stage, hit a rock and rolled and was out. No first Finland win for the Finn. Sebastian Ogier was the one who took the win, but Neuville profited most of all, especially without Tänak, Rovanperä and Evans in the power stage. Only 4 Rally 1 cars survived the weekend, so Oliver Solberg won WRC2 and finished 5th overall. Huge shock in the championship, Neuville leads, but Ogier is now his closest challenger after a second win in Finland, his first for 11 years. Seb is just 27 points behind, which is not bad seeing as he skipped 3 rallies. Evans and Tänak still in with a chance, and Adrian Formau is pretty close as well after a 4th podium of the year. Sami Pajari, amazing job to finish 4th on debut, staying out of trouble. Meanwhile, Oliver Solberg is just 1 point behind Gregoire Munster, which is a little embarrassing for the Ford driver. Just 4 rounds left. Will Seb Ogier do all of them and try for a 9th title? I can't see why not, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him take it. Greece is next in a month's time.
Tomoki Najiri and Nobuharu Matsushita haven't had the best start to 2024 in the Yata Civic Type R, a best 8th at the opening round at Okayama. There's big room for improvement.
Super GT from Fuji, round 4 of the championship, and guess who the first retirement was? The R&D Subaru I picked to win GT300. I am the worst kind of curse. Well, second worst. This was not a particularly interesting race. There were some good overtakes and some great battles in GT300, but the number 8 Arta led from start to finish and never really looked like they were in danger of being challenged. It was fine, but there have definitely been better Super GT races. Tomoki Najiri and Nobuharu Matsushita took the new Siric's first win. No clear title contenders. The next race is in a month's time, and I officially don't have anything else to say about Super GT this weekend.
Porsche are still the team to beat in the hypercar class, with Dane Cameron and Felipe Nasra winning last time out. They have a decent lead in the championship. They may take it easy and leave the door open for their teammates Nick Tandy and Matthew Jaminet to take the win ahead of Renger van der Zande and Sebastian Bourdais, and Nasra and Cameron completing the top 3. LMP2 is actually much harder to choose a winner for. Felipe Fraga and Gar Robinson lead the championship, but still haven't actually won a race in 2024, and that will continue. United Autosports of Ben Keating and Phil Hansen will take the class win at Road America. In GTD Pro, I'm going back in on the Corvette of Antonio Garcia and Alexander Sims. That went so well last time out, 2 wins in a row for them. And in the GTD class, could be anyone, so closing my eyes and throwing a dart, Albert Costa and Manny Franco in the Conquest Racing Ferrari. They're not really in championship contention, but why not give them a win?
IMSA from Road America and every class was taking part in a nice near 3-hour race from Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. We had a couple of early spinners such as Whelen Cadillac, turned around by my pick, the number 6 Porsche, and the Corvette, my GTD Pro pick, was also stuck in the gravel. There was a fire in a Lamborghini that led to another safety car, not a lot of racing in the first 40 minutes. Nick Yellowloy was the next big crash, and he took the Cadillac of Sebastian Bourdais with him, without touching him. The BMW was wrecked and out. That left the Acuras first and second, but Porsche were on the move. Felipe Fraga in the LMP2 championship leading car had a high speed off, but managed to not hit anything, so the race continued. Into the last half hour, and the GT class were getting feisty, and some unsportsmanlike driving led to several getting damaged. After a way too long stoppage, Matthew Jaminet was leading, and it was a straight fight between Porsche and Cadillac at the front with 15 to go. The last couple of laps were chaotic with the traffic, but it was a 1-2 for Porsche, a great race, and I called for hypercar and LMP2 class winners correctly. So 50%, not so bad. Felipe Nasra and Dane Cameron may have finished second, but they have a big lead in the championship with only a few races left.
TCR World Tour is back at Alpina in Uruguay, and Jan Erlechet really needs a boost. He's dropped to 4th in the championship after damage at Brazil, and a win here will bring him back up with the top cars. Santiago Arusha to take his first win of 2024 at his home event in the second.
Finally, let's take a look at the TCR World Tour from Alpina in Uruguay. Marco Butti was spun at the start, and John Filippi didn't even make it that far, so the World Tour grid was very light after one lap. And we had a safety car, so not the best start to the weekend. In fact, that was half the race, and we got another safety car for several broken TCR South America cars, so this race was a waste of time. Some good battles at the end, but not that interesting. Jan Erlechet wins. On to race 2. I don't know what happened at the start. It looked like the start was aborted, but everyone went racing anyway. Shortly it was red flagged, and we had a restart behind the safety car. Pedro Cardoso led a lot of this race in a Peugeot, but eventually he was caught by Ted Bjork. He was having the best weekend of all the title contenders. Jan Erlechet retired early, and Mikulits was in the middle of the pack in both races. But Norbert Mikulits has enough of a lead, but he just needs to finish in the last 4 races. Not great racing in Uruguay this weekend. So that was all the racing from the past weekend. My race of the weekend was the World Rally Championship, which had a lot of drama on top of how exciting the Rally Finland always is. The IMSA at Road America had a lot of stoppages, but was a lot of fun as well. Let me know your race of the weekend in the comments below. Barely anything on next weekend, with just British touring cars from Knock Hill and NASCAR from Richmond. So no prediction video or roundup over the course of the next week. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more motorsport content. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.